Hello, YouTube. I am back. Well, sure. Didn't really go anywhere. Just haven't had any chances to record in the shop. Uh, Different things are going on right now, so I just wasn't given the opportunity to record. So right now I'm recording from my car. It's my lunch break, just giving an update. I know Byron requested an update, so hi, Byron. That being said, I always forget to say this, but if you like my content, please like, comment, and subscribe. I will do my best to keep uploading content. Right now, it's a car video. I haven't had the opportunity to record in the shop. There is a car there that I wish I could record on, but I can't really at the moment. And it's another car that needs an ECU, another bad DME. I had another bad DME that I tested and diagnosed a few videos back on a Mini Cooper. That DME did fix that issue. So now I'm back in with another DME, and it's backfeeding voltage through itself through fuse 37. It's a very interesting car. I wish I could record on it. But once again, can't always record in the shop during work hours. So if I can do an afternoon update, maybe, but it's going to be very unlikely that I can. But this car in question, me and my coworker, he's actually a YouTuber himself. He's Mike Salazar, Mike Salazar Diagnostics. We were having a discussion about whenever he condemns an ECU in the back of his head, he's like, well, did I miss something that killed this ECU? So I was a bit arrogant in my testing procedure for the first ECU. I looked at it last week, and I was like, all right, I did my initial testing, and I was like, all right, this ECU is dead. I'm like, there's no way around it. Ground issue inside the DME, similar to the Mini Cooper we're having, but the Mini Cooper is a little different. And I was like, all right, so it needs a DME. And he, back if we were having that discussion, he's like, well, he's like, I'm always concerned I missed something, and that whenever I plug the new DME in, he's always worried, or the new ECU, that something's going to fry the new ECU. Because once again, once you let the smoke out, you can't put it back in. Well, I guess a very skilled person could if they go back in, split the ECU casing and then repair the part, which there are people out there that do that. So I knew it needed DME, and he was just, I guess, calling me out on my arrogance of how confident I was for the ECU. So I did a couple extra steps that I normally wouldn't take, but I was like, let me just go ahead and verify a few things. Made sure my CAS inputs were all fine. All that was good. It's a supply voltage line from the CAS to the DME. That was good. So what's going on is the car will crank but not start. Fuse 37, 38, 39 are not being energized. Those are all DME controlled fuses controlled by the DME relay. So if we energize those fuses directly, the owner has been energizing them with a power probe, and the car starts. I don't recommend. So he provided me with fuse numbers that were completely wrong, and if I had energized the fuses that he told me were the correct fuses, 78, 79, 77, I believe. Those are body fuses. I would have fried the body module, just because he provided the incorrect fuse numbers based off of his fuse chart that he got off online, which was incorrect. So either way, figured out which fuses they were, 37, 38, 39, and those are all the DME relay controlled fuses. And I was like, all right, so we're not getting anything from the control side. It's a DME, provides the ground. I can go to the ground wire and provide my own manual ground, and the car will start. It's like, all right, so going through testing it, I have an internal short circuit through the DME. The DME is not providing any ground whatsoever. So like, all right, so the DME is bad. And going back and with Mike, and he's like, well, how he's like, I'm never confident that I'm not going to fry a new DME. So he's like, I'm always worried I've missed something. And that's true. You can miss something, and I've seen it happen in the shop. We're plugging a brand new control unit, and if there's a short circuit somewhere and we missed it, and it's you let the smoke out, it's not good. I've also seen it happen in technical training. Technical trainers will bug cars for us, and you can let the smoke out at technical training if you're not doing what you're supposed to. I've always had a mixed relations up there with relationship with the trainers, because I'd always fix their bug cars, and you're supposed to leave the bug cars broken and back and forth. But yeah, so going back and forth, like, all right, so I was a bit arrogant in my testing procedure, and he's like, well, so he was right. I needed to do an additional due diligence to make sure I wasn't going to kill a new DME. So like I shouldn't end my testing as the DME is dead. So I verified a couple things, make sure my cast is doing what it's supposed to do, make sure my grounds are where they need to be, and my powers are good. So I went through and I isolated fuse 37, 38, 39, pulled the fuses out, and I did find something. It was a bit of an anomaly, and I once again wish I could record it. Fuse 37 is backfeeding voltage the wrong way through the fuse block, 2.5 volts. So pull up the wiring diagrams. Fuse 37 energizes the EPDWs, which are the wastegate control solenoids, both Vanos solenoids, both cam sensors, maybe a crank sensor, water pump, thermostat, as well as the DME itself. So Fuse 37 splits off and supplies 2 pins in the DME with voltage. I unplugged everything just to see if everything but the DME, and I was still having the 2.5 volts. So then I started unplugging the wires from the DME. And the DME has an internalized short circuit, and one of those pinned wires from the DME is backfeeding voltage through that fuse, which then in turn will backfeed voltage into itself, because there's multiple powers going into the DME and there's different grounds. So one of the pins is shorted out internally and shooting voltage backwards through the fuse, which then in turn shoots voltage back in through itself. So the DME is just done. But Mike was right. I shouldn't have just immediately said, well, the DME is bad. Do my due diligence, verify my new DME isn't going to get smoked as soon as I plug it in. And it's not. I've already verified all that. And even before then, I was confident in my testing, but I shouldn't be arrogant in my testing, which is definitely what I need to work on. So that being said, new DME, which once again, parts availability issues. We're not going to have that part for a good little while, just like the last Mini Cooper DME took a while to show up. And that means there's another dead car in the stall, and currently I have several. But I think I'm going to end the video here. I'm going to continue different rambling videos as I go on here on my lunch break. As always, please and thank you. Like, comment, subscribe. If you want me to make any content about certain things, I'll try and go from there.